Love this new line. Love the new jerseys. They are for purchase. Like the Heat jerseys too, man. There's been a lot of fresh jerseys here at this third event.
Yeah, certainly above par. I like Nate Schrader, too, checking with his coach there, Tyler Michaud, to see is it Monville, because Sam Monville played up the middle quite a bit.
Yeah, so choosing not to go up the middle, as that was their stock and trade for Houston Heat with Monville on day one. Worked out more than it didn't for him. Now Monville on a delay. Is that Monville?
Yes, it is. Sam Monville delaying into the closet. Alec Holland dying out of the back center. However, is that Miterman getting into the snake one?
Yeah,
Someone else, I think.
Is it? I wish he had the beard still. No, that's Mark. So
no, it's Joel Eaton in the snake.
Ooh, Joel Eaton throwing a little. Yeah, it is Joel Eaton. So throwing a little twist in here. Is Eaton going to be the first attacker with Nate Schrader also getting to the wedge here?
5-on-4 though, advantage Heat on that early kill of Alec Holland. Ryan Moorhead getting into that snake side wedge. He's playing heads up.
Yeah, Moorhead was very solid for him on that snake side. He's going to get into the wedge as well too, mirroring up with Nate Schrader crossfield.
Yeah, Moorhead playing heads up, Schrader on the cross. Monville looking like he might want to take another bump forward or maybe just surveying the land.
Eaton crawls up, gets alive into the snake 3 position, looking inside.
I don't know that Heat knows his exact position right now. Based on, oh, now they certainly do. Yeah, Sam Monville ripping paint at his spot.
Also able to make it out wide. Uprising on that D-side into that back corner bunker. Dizon out there as well too. Guys are risking that outside movement a little bit more today here, Mike.
Yeah, we've seen more makes to the Dorito corner and more people getting shot off the break, but not Joel Eaton in this one, and now Chad George getting into the snake for Houston Heat. Joel Eaton in that snake 3, Chad George in that snake 2. On the wrap, he's just got Joel Eaton in front of him. He also has to deal with, I believe, Boromeo's gun in the back center. This Chad George as he crawls forward into the snake 3 now.
Yeah, Chad George in a great spot at that snake 3 position. That's for just joining us. That's pretty much how it's been going. You'll see guys methodically make their way into these forward positions. They'll get to that snake 3, they'll get to the wedge, maybe 40 brick in the middle. But then they have decisions to make, guns to go and push into to get to that wedge. And how goes that offense? Goes your point typically. So even though down a body here, Uprising looking pretty confident in this 4-on-5 situation here, point number 1.
Yeah, having that penetration on the snake side and Nate Schrader with some versatility in the middle makes it a different situation than if you only have 4 live and you're all stuck in the middle of the field, Maddie, as you've been saying out here.
But Houston Heat, even with the body advantage, which I'm pretty sure they know about since the death was out of that middle and Holland had to run off past multiple pairs of eyes, they're playing patient. Patient has been the name of this, of the tactics and strategy out here.
Yeah, I think if there's someone who's fairly free to move, it'll be Ronnie Dizon. Probably only going to have 1 gun to move through. The gaps, snake 3 into 50 snake, that wedge are kind of tricky, risky. Joel Eaton has Mishka fully dedicated to that outside edge of his bunker, trying to shoot through that little cut at Chad George in his mirror cross field. Now Mishka filtering out to that insert bunker. Ronnie Dizon's hopper is off. He's having some serious gun issues.
Yeah, I'll see if Ronnie can get that up. Monville still live at the door in the middle, and still Chad George and Ryan Moorhead topside in the snake structure here for Houston Heat. So see how long it's going to play out this way.
Yeah,
it's typically, Mike, going to come down to who loses a gunfight, because if Uprising loses a gunfight here and Heat goes into a 5-on-3, then look for them to start pushing the issue, and then vice versa. If Uprising can connect, it's going to turn into a 4-on-4, potentially slow this point down a little bit more, depending on who dies.
Dizon gets his gun up, crawls into the Dorito 1. No one saw him, so he's going to try to come out wide, put a ball in on Borromeo. He does not. So now Uprising knows he's there. They're calling baby. That means that little Dorito. We're hearing multiple teams use that code. So Dizon does make some forward progress, but has been detected. Sam Monville dedicated now on Joel Eaton at the bottom of your screen. After Mishka moved outside, Mishka picked up the middle zone. Sam Monville switched to the snake zone. High-level coordinated zone control. No surprise from Houston Heat.
Yeah, and Dizon, after having his gun down for a little bit, getting in the mix and shooting some ropes downfield here, but just been a little game of head checks and get reads on lanes.
The heat
for
being
the past few minutes.
Yeah, the heat being what it is in terms of temperature and humidity means you got to keep your paint on ice. That means you might end up with some brittle breaks in your gun.
I'd rather have a couple of those than as many bounces as we've seen out here.
Fully agree, Maddie. There's nothing more frustrating than bouncing a player after putting a filthy shot on him.
Yeah. I always say I'd rather break a couple in my barrel than bounce any off you.
Ryan Moorhead now switching to the inside. That's going to free up Sam Monville to make some moves up the middle. Those guys have been playing together for a long time now. So yeah, good coordinated switches.
Monville is popping the top and maybe thinking about making that move up to the brick, but just going to be content to try to keep Eaton honest over here in the Snake 3, keep him out of that wedge. And Uprising been posted up at that back corner bunker on the D side for a while. That's Graham Arnold over there.
Yeah, it's Arnold in the Dorito corner for Uprising. Joel Eaton came to the outside, now coming back inside. Borromeo in the back center communicating. Nate Schrader asked a question, but Borromeo came off the zone, and that allowed Dizon to make that move into the Dorito 2.
6 minutes ticked off the clock. No one's made any moves here for past couple minutes. Everyone just gunfighting out of their spots, but being very tentative doing so. Now another move here is Mishka's going to get out behind. Who are you going to get checked out by the ref? No, he's good to go. Didn't think he caught him any getting in there. He's going to give Dizon some help.
Yeah, Dizon, Mishka with a good two-man op over here with Monville on the overwatch. Joel Eaton coming out wide.
Ooh, looks like Nate Schrader screaming over at Chad George. The referee's going to give it a check, but looks like Chad George is good to go.
Yeah, Chad George, no stranger to barrel hits, which tend not to survive very long. Moorhead now going to jump over the beam for support on Chad George. Nice comms by Heat.
Maybe Moorhead's thinking about doubling up with Chad to get him across into that wedge. Might try to do it from there.
Yeah, it's so difficult when you have that wedge. You have to wrap so far to shoot him in if you want to go to the 50. And with Graham Arnold in the corner, to do that wrap is dangerous because if Graham Arnold hops out wide at the right time. Oh, but Moorhead leapfrogs him. Nice. Oh, that was wonderful the way they put that together. Chad George shot in Nate Schrader and allowed Ryan Moorhead to leapfrog.
Yeah, great job by the combo. Been playing together since the late 2000s. About 15 years together.
Arnold taking the little bump into the mini Dorito over there. He's going to take another bite into the Dorito 2.
Yeah, Graham Arnold having to feel like he needs to get a little bit farther out. So as you tier up from the back corner into D1, D2, and then into D3, the angle progresses out wide towards that sideline. Gives you a little bit better way to fight that wedge.
I think it might be kill one is what I hear from Houston Heat. So I think they actually did not see Alec Holland come off. They were playing like it was 5-on-5 for a while. Now it seems like they're suspicious. The problem with not knowing the kill count is you're just worried there's like a middle body no one's seen, and you don't want to fall into the trap.
No, Mike, that's slowing a lot of things down. Once you get tucked in these spots and you're gunfighting cross field, locked into a gunfight, you lose eyes and the ability to understand where all those bodies are, and that's why guys are so tentative on those moves. Totally understand why, and that's also why it's crucial to have your outside guys get eyes on the guys they're gunfighting perfectly in which way they're looking to communicate that cross field.
Schrader and Moorhead keyed up on one another here. They have that Hertz tower in between them, but if you back up in either direction, you can sneak one in. Ronnie Dizon continuing to have some problems with breaking paint, but he's got his gun back up.
Yeah, Mishka's still alive, so it's a still 5-on-4 situation here in favor of Heat.
9-minute point right now in this opening point of the Uprising Heat match, and now Monville making his move into the brick. I think he was detected by Schrader.
He didn't hit the bunker, though.
Schrader just called something right when he moved, so that's why I thought. I could be wrong. Monville just waiting for Joel Eaton to get impatient and come forward. Everyone's very low on paint at this point.
Yeah, got to be getting down to it here. The number of paintballs in those packs as we're approaching the 5-minute mark, almost a 10-minute long point.
Wait.
The longer this point goes, the more important it becomes, as we always say, because you're just not going to get a lot of points out here when you tick off 10 minutes in the first one. What are you hearing?
Moorhead said, Ronnie, what's this way? 200. He might have said, stay this way. I was thinking that Moorhead was switching Ronnie Dizon's gun in order to put something together. But
that's quite the call cross field as Moorhead's at the 50 wedge. They're definitely talking to each other, though.
yeah, hand signals from Ronnie Dizon. And just like having your ears open, right? Expecting to hear a voice, expecting to connect, not having to shout through someone's tunnel vision.
Well, Miska gets a little closer here to Dizon as he gets into the D1 spot. We're going to try to help Dizon get into D3.
Eaton tried to wheel and deal on Monville. Chad George just on the outside protect. Nate Schrader coming into the Snake 2 now behind Joel Eaton. Oh, but Borromeo dies out of the backside. Mishka killed him.
Eaton going to launch to the 50. He's actually going to launch all the way. He catches Dizon, does get shoot by Mishka. Here comes Nate. Nate's going to launch. He did not shoot Dizon. Dizon eats up Nate Schrader, and that is going to leave a lot of bodies out here for Houston Heat to try to finish this off and shoot out Graham Arnold. And they're screaming towel, so it looks like they were trying to concede the point here, Uprising. Yeah, Tyler Michaud had a pretty good first one, so they're going to let him spin again. Must still feel fresh. Got some work to do, though. Here for Uprising with just 4:15 left on the clock here and on the breakout.
5 on 5, identical
5
breakout.
That benefits Heat, though, with the 5-on-5 break. They didn't lose anybody. They got a point lead, and they're going to be shooting a body, and it's Eaton. He went up short, went to the South Electronics can. Borromeo's going to launch. Monville launches early this time as well, too. So it's Borromeo for Uprising and Sam Monville here for Houston Heat. Do battle up the middle.
Yeah, nicely done by, I believe, Ronnie Dizon to kill Joel Eaton heads up. Schrader now joining the action in the middle, so double press in the middle. However, Sam Monville is up there for Houston Heat. Looks like Nate Schrader might want to battle him, but he's going to have to go through Ronnie Dizon's gun to do it. Makes Dizon flinch and then retreats to the wedge.
Be hoping to try to keep Ronnie's gun that way. Ronnie's gun's probably going to stay that way for a while anyway.
I think they were trying to also confuse Ronnie and making it seem like the player had left the brick while still being there because they had a double presence with Borromeo. But Sam Monville is just keyed up on Borromeo coming across the center onto his side. He's just looking at the ground right in front of himself, which is a smart move with a lead.
Yeah, but now we're down to just 3 minutes.
Wow, Nate Schrader just took a bounce off a bounce shot, and now Holland filtering out behind him.
Yeah, he's just been smothering on these angles. Really hasn't given Uprising much to work with here as far as offensive options.
I saw a stat, I believe it was from Pick'em, which is run by James Greeny, that Chad George had the most kills of players through zone control.
Love that stat.
Zone control kills by Chad George, big time yesterday. Houston Heat always good on their zone control. Now Ryan Moorhead, he's been all over this field.
Yeah, Paintball Pick'em doing kill counts in Fantasy Paintball, so definitely download their app, check it out.
Moorhead, though, dies out of his spot. He got killed by Nate Schrader. Nate Schrader jumped across into the Snake and then came into the Snake 3 and killed Brian Moorhead on his first snap.
Nate Schrader being very creative to try to present an offensive threat. We just talked about they need it as we're down to 2 minutes. So that's an absolutely massive kill to even up the count right now. Nate Schrader's going to go past the 50-yard line as Monville's going to put his gun that way.
Yeah, I don't know that they know Nate's there because I think Moorhead might have been the only one who had eyes on him at any moment. Chad George probably saw him at some point now. Yeah, I see paint zipping near that bunker. But yeah, Monville's keyed up for the move forward. But Schrader, such a proactive player. He's really an excellent person on these fields, all over the place, into the 50 wedge. Borromeo looking like he wants to come get Monville, but just a minute 30 left, Maddie, and Uprising needs the point.
Yeah,
bodies.
And Heat's just dug in, not giving him anything to look at. Graham Arnold gets out wide, and then Nate Schrader is going to commit. They're going to have to play off this move, and he trades out with Monville as Chad George gets into the Snake. So 3 on 3, it looks like, as here comes Borromeo. Borromeo, I don't think he knows that Chad George is in that spot, and he does not. So Chad George is going to eat up Borromeo. He's going to get in a gunfight with, no, he's not going to get in a gunfight. He's going to look cross field, but about another body coming off is, there's a 2-on-2 situation here.
Yeah, Borromeo needed to see Monville come off there, did not. So bunkers a ghost and then gets picked up by Chad George. However, 2 bodies dying out of the backfield. Mishka now dead, so it's a 1-on-2. Just Chad George with only 45 seconds left. Can he hold out against Alec Holland and Graham Arnold?
Alec Holland has that side all to himself. Chad George whipping his gun back and forth. Might have blown up a ball right now. He's going to load a pod. Down to 32 seconds left. Graham Arnold pretty sure of the count as he's totally focused here on Chad George. He checks the clock real quick. He knows he has to commit here shortly in the next few seconds. Alec Holland's going to commit. He's going to push up, and they are going to dot the I. Chad George and Alec Holland staying alive in the chaos on that top side. Great job by Graham Arnold as well, too, and they are going to be able to tie this one up. We're going to go to another overtime period as Graham Arnold might be unleashing the fury from his stomach here.
Oh, nice. But good job there to put the shot on Chad George, holding down the Vom until he got that last kill. Here's Monville getting that first kill on Joel Eaton. Nicely done. Moorhead getting shot by Nate Schrader here.
Looks like he was just a little bit too out of that spot.
Schrader then coming through and trading with Sam Monville. Unfortunately, Borromeo didn't see Monville come off right here, so he air bunkered nobody.
That just left Chad George, though, in the back corner bunker in a tough spot. That D side completely blown open for him. So not able to preserve the lead. Going to throw in 5 minutes on the clock and go into an overtime point.
10 seconds.
And actually,
Houston Heat. This is a little fake point, 4 seconds before they go to overtime.
Extra timeout for these guys.
I'm probably going to see a timeout in the Arsenal damage match.
Yeah, they just played a really long one. Thought that game was going to be going to X-Ball for sure, but not after it just popped off a, 8-minute long point?
Yeah, exactly. So quick turnaround after
1 minute.
Arsenal failing to convert the high body situation, tie game. I didn't see the clock at the end of that point, but I believe it's definitely under 5.
Yeah, there was too much action.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. I knew it wasn't close enough. So I'm not exactly sure how much time's left in that game, but we're about to find out here. I do agree with you. I'd throw a timeout right now.
Yeah. Great.
Or Damage could flex on their depth.
Yeah.
Just send other bodies out.
Yeah, Arsenal, I think, should take the timeout. Damage has a million bodies they could probably throw. I think it would behoove Damage to not take a timeout, but
Sure enough, timeout called. Well, let's get a look here in the Uprising pitch for this overtime fight.
We need 10 total.
asking for 10 pods for overtime. Sounds about right.
2 pods per minute.
Maddie, just want to highlight how incredible that move by Jacob Edwards was to come through Stephen Omar's gun, shoot him in transition, and then kill Caleb cross field.
Well, we've been having some conversations about some younger phenoms, quote-unquote, guys coming into the league at a young age. It's great to see. It's the future of the sport. That was Jacob Edwards when he was 15, 16 years old.
Yeah. There, we have the mic'd up section in between games. Jacob Edwards is very good. Talking trash.
He's a dog, man.
Yeah,
you can't intimidate Jacob Edwards.
No.
He'll fight you too if he has to, and he's a big dude.
He's a big dude.
Yeah, no, he's been huge for Tampa Bay Damage.
20 seconds.
So now we got Cody Mikowski, Elliot Weaver, Kyle Bone, same line for Damage. It's all starting 5 in these long points, which is Keith Brown, Chad Bouget. Now we got Bowen, Weaver, Mikowski, O'Mara. I expect.
Really redoubling their efforts.
Who you got?
It's too tough to call.
I got Uprising.
It's tough to call. To me, it's completely even on the odds.
Even on the odds, but I like their chances, but they lose Joel Eaton off the break, so huge advantage to Heat.
They do get both teams get a body up the middle. Nate Schrader's actually going to do a little tactical retreat. He's going to go back to the wedge as he hits the deck. Monville has committed up to the brick with a body advantage. Heat doubling up that back center.
That's a really smart retreat by Nate Schrader, because after you lose Joel Eaton, a trade really benefits Houston Heat. Instead, Schrader backs up. It's going to make it easier to get into the snake if he wants it, but great fill by Borromeo getting in there.
Borromeo crawling up here to get into snake 3. Graham Arnold focused on that inside gap between the bricks in the middle to make sure Monville doesn't come across.
Borromeo, Uprising, trying to really make their name out here as a true contender, not just a fluke Sunday team. It's been few years. I think it was 2021 they made a top 4. They look like that team again. Even better, perhaps, with Schrader. Borromeo, I thought he shot Sam Monville, but Monville able to tuck in and dodge it. Still two in the back center with Moorhead and Mishka. Ronnie Dizon in the insert. Chad George in the insert. So even though down a body, good forward progression.
Big bite from Moorhead as he goes all the way from the back center, goes past the South Electronics scan to dive in untouched into the Snake and goes right into Snake 2. So better position right now for Houston Heat, as looks like Nate Schrader's going to come across as Alec Holland might have caught one. So Alec Holland getting shot in transition. Great zone control.
Yeah, I think
for Houston Heat.
Yeah, I think that was Moorhead making a move without being known. Ref coming to check Nate Schrader. He might catch a minor penalty there. Oh, he is going to catch a minor penalty. That's going to be curtains on Uprising. Houston Heat just too much with the kill off the break. Good zone control, and then Nate Schrader catching a minor there. Going to take a miracle in a 1-on-5 for Graham Arnold.
Yeah, that's going to do it here. And, I mean, Graham Arnold's done amazing things in low body situations, but Houston Heat, they'd have to make a series of cataclysmic mistakes to give Graham even a chance.
Man.
But with those bodies coming off quick, he might not know the count right now. In fact, pretty sure they don't. Because Dizon's still shooting inside. Back center, same thing there. Monville's starting to feel it. It's like, I'm not feeling any pressure. There can only be 1 or 2 bodies left alive.
Yeah, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. No need to rush anything. Figure out
I would
the
like
count.
to see Heat talking up a little bit more right now in this 1-on-5.
Agree, Maddie. Ripping a bounce shot in on Graham Arnold. Graham Arnold playing pretty comfortably for a 1-on-5 right now, off that back center a little.
No pressure on him. You're not supposed to win 1-on-5s.
Yeah. But I mean literally off the bunker, you know, being able to wrap in a 105. But now Sam Monville makes his way forward. Bad on me to doubt Houston Heat really handling business here in this overtime point. You know, I've set it up here a couple times that this team was once always a favorite to win any given event. It's been a little bit since they've won. Retooled in the offseason with some young talent. It's the vets out here holding it down for them and trying to prove the doubters wrong. Find their way back to the podium.
Well, here in overtime, Houston Heat will be taking the victory, sends them to a 2-1 record. Uprising now going to be 1-2 and going to be in a must-win situation against the best team in the league, PB Fit.
Tough spot, but like I said earlier, if you want to win tournaments, you got to beat good teams.
Yeah, they are putting themselves on an uphill climb. Uprising multiple Sundays in a row, 7th place at the first event.
20 seconds.
Now.